Dear property selling professionals, welcome back to our weekly bulletin especially edited for sales professional like yourself. Incidentally, my name is Madam Sophia, the virtual assistant CTM Joseph NG, your sales and marketing e-coach and e-mentor. Enough of my long intro, allow me to present this week's message on behalf of CTM Joseph. Alright, here goes. Week outlook seen for construction sector. Petaling Jaya. The construction sector has been downgraded on what analysts call less upbeat prospects following the announcement of the 12th Malaysia Plan, 12 MP. In its report to clients on the sector, Kenanga Research said in light of the weaker prospects for the local infrastructure space coupled with the government's less than ideal fiscal position, it was choosing to dial down valuations for key infrastructure contractors under its coverage, namely Gamuda BHD and IJM Corp BHD. That said, despite the lowered valuations, at current share price, these two counters still command an outperform call. We think there is a higher probability for the government to endorse the monetization of highways by Gamuda/IJM to rechannel these proceeds to new projects in light of the government's weaker fiscal position, it told clients. Yesterday, the government unveiled the 12 MP with a massive RM400 billion as development expenditure, over 50% higher than what was allocated for the 11 MP. The 12 MP is scheduled to run from 2021 to 2025. Despite the massive figure, analysts pointed out that there was no priority given to fresh mega construction work. While development expenditure allocation for 2021 to 2025 is massive at RM400 billion, priority was not placed towards new mega infrastructure projects. Key projects mentioned were either a continuation of existing projects or a reiteration of previously planned projects such as the Gemas JB Electrified Double Track, Klang Valley Double Tracking, East Coast Rake Line, Rapid Transit System, Pan Borneo, Central Spine Road and Kota Banakuala Kray highway projects. Kenanga noted. All in, it said it is believed the government's weaker fiscal position post-pandemic would mean slower rollout of projects, smaller quantum or spaced-out contracts, and a higher reliance of private finance initiative funding from contractors. It has downgraded the sector from overweight to neutral. JF Apex Research was slightly more optimistic, stating that the construction sector was one. However, the government will only kickstart any new megaprojects from 2023 onwards to focus on the National Recovery Plan, which is ongoing as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, it pointed out. We believe the construction sector will come under investors' radar next year, JF Apex said. Surprisingly, the highly anticipated MRT3 was not mentioned, the research house pointed out. A specific facilitation fund for infrastructure projects will be established under the Public-Private Partnership 3.0 model. In its report, Kenanga said based on its understanding, some 10% to 30% of MRT3's funding needs would be funded by the private sector to alleviate the country's fiscal burden. However, given the protracted recovery from COVID-19, we believe the current fiscal space is less accommodative, and we do not discount the possibility that higher private funding needs will be required in order to expedite the commencement of MRT3. Its estimated cost for MRT3 stands at around RM32 billion. Source: The Star Papers, 22nd Sept 2021. By the way, have you benefited by this breaking news? Remember, knowledge is power. Hence, use the facts and figures to exceed your sales performance. Agree or not? 8. Before leaving you, may I present my colleague Madam Florence, another virtual assistant to CTM Joseph NG? She will present the rest of this bulletin. Okay, goodbye for now.
Chapter 8: The alternative offer, close quote. The either or close simply gives a prospect a choice between two alternatives, or a choice between secondary options. Ron Willingham, author of book, The Bestseller The New Psychology of Selling and Persuading People. Believe me, this sale closing type may rank as the better sale techniques. Through my personal experience in my training and in the field, it has proven to be one of the best close yet. In fact, a quick survey with my sales trainees in the classroom has confirmed my assertion. However, do not hastily agree with me until you have completely read the chapter. Reading is believing, if I may say so. Alright. Without further ado, let me expose to you why this is yet another superior way of closing any sale, big or small. Make no mistakes, it is better known as alternative choice close. It is a choice that can be made between two or more products. It's a choice of two or more methods of purchase, two or more quantities, colors or sizes, or in any manner that you can offer the prospect a choice. In all honesty, confronting the prospect with a choice from which to select can do wonders. Believe it or not, many times, your prospect will accept the choice you presented to him and you ultimately have the sale. Hence, may I ask you whether you dare to use it? Again, is it you who choose the alternative offers to extend to your prospect? If you ask me, my one and only reply is of course, you can. By the way, why don't you just stop reading right now and list on paper some choice offerings you can use in your selling? In truth, there are indeed many if you take the time to create them that can fit your sales techniques. I give you 5 minutes to gather your thoughts on this matter. All right. Finish. Let me continue by saying that you should always start your choice closing questions with these words, which do you prefer? By starting your question with these words, which do you prefer, you bring your prospective customer into a state of agreement with you. Subsequently, it brings the prospect into the state of agreement with you. By doing so, you set it into motion his subconscious mind, the power of auto-suggestion. Then, you may get him to say to himself that he will buy somehow and he will indeed do it. And now here are some excellent examples of alternate choice closes. Which do you prefer? The horizontal blind or would the vertical blind suit your needs better? Which do you prefer? The navy-colored suit or would the dark blue pint strip be more desirable? Which do you prefer? The condo overlooking the water or the view over the woodland would be more to your liking? Which do you prefer? To grow your own shade trees over the next 5 years, or would you have us planting shade-producing trees on your lawn this weekend be more desirable? If truth is to be told, do give them an alternative of choice. Either one of which will result in a sale for you. Believe me. No jokes. Now that we are almost at the end of this chapter, shall we review quickly a summary of the alternative offer, close below. Summary. Not to sound like a broken record, let me reinstate succinctly. For starters, we must remember, the alternative offer, it is a proven method to close most sales. Again, remember it is a confronting question that requires the prospect to make a decision. It must be repeated. You, the sales professional, must in your sales talk be prepared with as many alternative choice closings. Moreover, you need to recall that you start with the questioning words, which do you prefer? Finally, your choices of alternative extended to the prospect must result in a sale. Serious. Having said that, let me conclude with a big bang, so to speak. Conclusion. To wrap up this chapter 8 regarding the alternative offer close, I must state without a shadow of doubt that this form of closing has proven positive result in all my selling presentation. You ask, why? In truth, many of my trainees did try this type of closing and they found it very effective. And I urge you to try it for yourself. You have my guarantee it will work all the time. To reinforce my stand on the workability of this closing style, allow me to quote the words of Richard R. Still, a renowned American sales trainer and author. The salesman may ask the prospect a preference from among a limited number of choices as to models, delivery dates, order size, or the like, so phrasing the question that all possible responses are in the salesperson's favor except for one, none at all. After reading the full chapter, may I ask, are you happy and convinced that this may be one method of closing? If you are happy, then my work in this chapter is done here. Hoping to see you in the next chapter. Agree or not? Thanks a million. End of chapter 8.